Alrighty. Thank you. I'll grab the $50 you said?
Yes, sir.
You guys get police in the area often?
They ride around, yeah.
Well, at the hotels nearby?
All the hotels, yes, sir.
You said police come near?
They patrol the area, yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, is there, like, emergencies often?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
No?
No.
Well, do you know what happened tonight? Next door? There's like a fire truck, a paramedic,
I have no
two
idea, sir. I
police.
just work right here. I don't go next door. I couldn't tell you. Come over here for me, please. Hit the black no thanks button.
Okay.
Hit the orange button twice. Silence your finger. And hit accept. How many keys do you need? Sir.
One sec, I'm reading the information. Please confirm we have your stay information correct. 1209 to 1211. The phone number, you want the phone number?
No, I don't need it.
Okay. All right. In order to provide guests with a safe, comfortable, enjoyable stay, company has adopted 100% smoke-free. Sweet. A deep cleaning fee of $150 if any pets. Agree to liability does not waive. Agree to health responsibility liable in the events that the indicated person, company, or association fails to pay the full amount of these charges. That my liability. Housekeeping will be provided only upon request or after your third night stay. All right. You're missing out on the fastest way to rewards. Exclusive member rates when you book on Choice Hotels. No, thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your stay. Pretty cool.
You didn't tell me how many keys you need, but I'm giving you 2, okay?
Okay. So when you ask how many keys you needed, do people choose one? Is there a reason?
It's up to the guest.
Oh. No, I'm just asking because I don't stay at hotels too often, so this is a new experience.
Here's your room number 407.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi 4924. Check out in 2 days at 11 o'clock. Breakfast is served in that corner over there from 6:30 to 9:30. Elevator's right here.
All right, cool.
Enjoy your stay.
So again, why do you?
It's up to the guests. They don't give me the reason how many keys they need, sir.
Oh.
I have no idea.
So why do you ask?
I'm being polite. If you need 2, I'll give you 2. If you need 4, I'll give you 4.
Really? Oh, for the number of people in your room.
That's not the only reason, sir.
Oh, you don't like to shoot the wind?
Not really, no.
No?
No.
Oh, that's like a custom. I'm from Wisconsin. Where I come from, the people are really they like to talk to you.
Okay. But you're asking me questions I have no concept, not no concept, but don't have the answers to. I don't know what's going on in that store. I don't know why people want 3 keys. I can't answer those questions, sir.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I understand. There's some questions I can't answer, but I try to figure it out for them. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
I try to get to the bottom of it with them. You know, that's like shooting the wind with somebody.
Okay.
You just sit there, you talk about things, and figure out what's going on.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, but that's just my opinion. Which way to the room?
Right here.
Which way?
Elevator's right here.
Is it right around the corner?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Holy crap! That is the horrible customer service experience you get from people who don't like straight people. There's absolutely no reason that you're supposed to treat people the way he just treated me. So I guess he knows exactly why people ask for multiple keys. And one good reason is that there's multiple guests. So if multiple people are staying in the room, you need multiple keys, right? I mean, I couldn't imagine any other reason, right? And so he, as a professional hotel manager, would know the other reasons, right? The other causes, the other purpose, more purposes to have multiple keys, right? He would know. So, hold on. Let's check out this room. All right, so I just got in. Looks good. Check out the bathroom. Make sure. But that was horrible customer service, man. You see how disrespectful he was? TV, radio. That thing's on. I'm gonna turn it off. Just turned off. All right, lights. Anything in here? Scratches up there. All right, let's see what this looks like. All right. But yeah, no, dude, you're not supposed to treat people like that. So I asked him a simple question. Do you know what's going on next door? That's not a tough question to ask. You know what I mean? Lots of people who visit in town, who see fire departments, fire hydrants, and all the police nearby, they would ask the closest person, hey, do you know what happened? But the guy shut me down like it was an asinine question to ask him if he knows what's going on nearby. And then he got mad because I asked him, hey, do you know, does this happen a lot where firefighters and paramedics are in the area responding to emergencies? And he's like hesitating to give me an answer. And it's like, those are questions guests would ask, you know? It makes them feel unsafe. If they know that police are always at the hotels in this area, they don't want to stay there no more. They'll choose to leave. So the guy refused to tell me exactly how and when and where, what's happening in the area. He felt like it was none of my business. And that's something the gay community likes to do. They like to keep secrets about people, about the way they do things in town. So the way things are done. So this person showed me he has a way of doing things. So he knows this city has a way of doing things. And he just treated me exactly like he's hiding something, hiding the way the town works from me. Like he didn't want to give me any information without making sure there was permission to be asked. So someone with implants just told me, because if he says something to you that we don't tell him to say, because we need to get our stories. If something happens and he's somehow involved, we have to get our story straight. So if we do something to you to get you in trouble or later on down the road, we need to make sure his story matches the story we are going to tell that we use to get you in trouble. So he didn't want to provide you information. He didn't want to tell you anything. Didn't want to give you information. Then he acted like, so he didn't want to give me information because it's an old way of doing things. Like, so when people used to be racist and blatantly racist out in the open, they used to withhold information. It was an intelligence choice. Like somebody who was really smart taught really poor, average-looking people how to play dumb and how to withhold intelligence. So if you withhold intelligence from a visitor or somebody inquiring about the area, which you know is probably like somebody snooping around to figure out what the hell is going on, what secrets are being hidden in this area, they taught people to play dumb.
respond with, I don't have any information about that. That's not my qualifications. That's beyond what I know. Or use dumb words to say exactly what I just said. And then give attitude. Like, you shouldn't be asking me that. I mean, that just don't make sense. I'm not that kind of person. So now you have a feelings and thoughts that somebody's upset and somebody is angry. So now you're emotionally offset. And on top of your thoughts, that you have a logical purpose. So when your emotions are conflicting with your thoughts, it's really hard to get to the bottom of things. And he knows that. So the guy downstairs used impatience, which is irritating because you have a logical sense that asking somebody politely what's going on outside is not an impolite thing to do. So when someone treats you like you just asked them an asinine, a question that shouldn't be asked, like it's an impolite question to ask, or no, ask them a question that shouldn't irritate anybody. You shouldn't be irritated at all because you asked somebody who works in customer service a question. And they just told me in my ears, some customer representatives aren't kind people, aren't nice people. That doesn't really make sense. Most people are nice people regardless. Most people are nice people who work. Then why do you work customer care? So why are you in a position to greet customers if you don't like to greet customers? It's not that you don't like to greet customers. You don't like to greet a specific type of customers. So people who are different than the group of people you hang out with. So when you go somewhere, you get a customer service representative who's not nice to you, who is acting illogically, telling you, hey, I think you're asking me questions no one should ask a person like me. Questions about the area, question about the police in the area, question about violence. Not violence. What else are the questions I ask him? Oh, like why people offer multiple keys. Those are questions that you would want to know. Like, I want to know, hey, is there a purpose to have multiple keys? And if there's no purpose, then I'll just take one. If there is a purpose to have multiple keys, please tell me. If I asked you for 3 keys, would you give them to me? Or would you say, why do you need 3 keys? Do I have to have a purpose? And to lead to harassment. So let's say I asked for 4 keys. Like he said, you can have 4 keys. If I asked for 4 keys and he gave me 4 keys, I asked for 4 keys and he says, how many people are you with? Do you have with you? And I said 1. And then he'd be like, well, why do you need 4 keys? So he wouldn't just hand out 4 keys if you asked for it. He was setting me up for harassment. So what you do is you have an open-ended open question. That's not open-ended. It's open question that you can turn into harassment. So ask him, how many keys would you like? He says 1. And he's like, all right. He gives it to you. I can't think of any arguments against receiving 1 key. But let's say he asked for 4 keys, which the man said, I give them to you if you ask for them. You would think he could then harass you. He could say, well, what do you need 4 keys for? And then you would be thinking in your head, you just asked me how many I wanted. You didn't tell me I needed a purpose for those keys. So when I asked him, hey, man, what reason do you need, do people need more keys? Because there might be something about staying in hotels. I don't know. I don't stay in hotels a lot. So if people usually go to hotels and ask for multiple keys, I wouldn't know to do that because I don't know why anybody would ask for multiple keys. I'm only one person. I checked in as one person, so I shouldn't need multiple keys, right? So why would you offer multiple keys? And someone just told me in my ears, if you lose one, you have another one. But if you still have to pay for the other key. So you don't need 2 keys if you lose one. You just come back to the hotel and ask for another key. And you're probably going to have to, if you take 2, you have to bring 2 back. So it was exactly why, the reason I believe, I'm kind of going to stick to it, that you would need multiple keys is if there were multiple people who were going to be in your room. If there's only one person that's going to be in your room, you only need 1 key. And if you lose it, you got to go back to the desk and get a replacement anyways. And when you leave, you got to leave them the same number of keys you had when that they gave you. So there is no purpose besides multiple people having multiple keys to the room. And so he was going to set me up for harassment. Yeah, I guess he was going to set me up to say some crazy number like, I want 5 keys. And he'd be like, all right, is there 5 people in your room? It's some form of harassment that leaves you feeling upset that somebody asked you an inquisitive question, like something. I guess you got to play this out. If you're really smart, you can understand what I'm trying to say with that. Someone is clearly using the implant to stop me from getting to my point. So you need a memory to compress your ideas. So to put all my ideas together, it would require a space in my mind to compress all those ideas. So somebody is stopping me from compressing my ideas into like an ending that adds everything up with an implant. So when I'm trying to talk to you guys and I'm trying to tell you what I'm thinking, if you can't compress your ideas, no one's going to know what you're trying to say. So now they got to go back, watch the video and try to and figure out what you're trying to compress, the ideas you're trying to put together. And that's an implant. You use an implant to stop someone from thinking. So the dude downstairs, the hotel guest manager, decided to harass me. When I walked in the door, he stared at me. He didn't say hi. He didn't say anything. And it was a completely unpleasant, like stare at somebody that makes you feel uncomfortable. Like you don't want to approach that person. That was the look I got. When I said hi, it was like he was obligated to say hi back. And that's how he portrayed. That's the response he portrayed to me. And then the dude started giving me like subliminal, like subtle, I don't want to talk to you attitude. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't want to answer your questions about staying at a hotel. I don't want any. So before I started recording, I asked him another question. I can't remember, but I immediately knew this dude was harassing me. And it's really easy to pick up on. And when I pulled my camera out, he continued the harassment. I guess he didn't care. So he told me it's not his job to answer questions about things that are happening on the hotel property or around the hotel property. He then told me it's not his job to know the reason people ask for multiple keys. He told me, I don't know. I don't have any idea why that happens, why people ask for multiple keys. Well, what the hell do you work here? Why do you work here if you don't know why people ask for multiple keys? Anyways, so the guy then told me, he described around the corner, here, like a southern accent, talking with a southern accent. Man, it's 2024, man. You can skip over the southern accent. I mean, or if this wasn't like the 1950s or like a 1920s impression of like unwelcome, you're not welcome here experience, I don't know what else was. I can't imagine what else that experience was. It was like I was step back in time, like the 1930s. And I just got the most unwelcome experience. But this is in Wisconsin as well. That happens in Wisconsin too. I mean, there are people from the South or who have that ideology from the South who live in the state of Wisconsin. And they're gay people. And these gay people took positions of power all over the cities they live in such as customer care. You have a huge amount of power as a customer care representative. And somebody taught people how you could get away with harassing customers that aren't in your social circle. So as long as someone's not in your social circle, you can continue to treat them however you choose. You're the only one at work. You can say and do, you can kick them out. You can say, we refuse service to you. We don't like you. And you don't really speak for the image of the company. You speak for a small area in the middle of nowhere in the United States of America where you have complete authority in the moment. And then to backtrack to the image of the company you work for, where the people would have to publicly tell everybody, this doesn't represent our company, this person. You have to jump through 1,000 hoops to get these people to come back down here and tell the guy who gave you a bad experience, don't do that. You know what I mean? So that type of response is never going to happen. And that the guy who works downstairs is absolutely aware that the response to get him to behave appropriately will never happen. And in the meantime, he can continue to help the people in his social circle harass people who aren't in their social circle. He has a social circle. And they just told me he's going to deny that he even has a social circle. He doesn't hang out with anybody. He doesn't talk to anybody. But you can use many ways. There are many ways you can be a part of a social group and never publicly show it. Or you can use an implant or to pledge your allegiance. So in the privacy of your home, so that no one could publicly accuse you of ever being a part of a particular social circle, you could use the privacy of your home as a place to prove you belong to a particular social circle that nobody else and will have evidence of, because you constantly prove it in the privacy of your home or with an implant. So that's who I met downstairs, a guy in a private social circle who's hiding it, who would hide it from the public so that he can escape the gravity. No, there's no motivation. There's no evidence of motivation to harass somebody who's not heterosexual. I mean, who's heterosexual, because there's no obvious issues between him and heterosexuals. I think the dude downstairs is in the gay community. I firmly believe it, and I firmly believe he takes advantage of his position as often as his social circle asks him to. So every once in a while, somebody like me who's alone in the world, who's struggling to speak, struggling to tell the things that are happening to him, struggling to get evidence of what he's portraying to people, telling people, those people will walk through the gate in his little area of power and get the worst treatment. And they won't have anybody to tell. And as long as they won't have anybody to tell, and he can escape the motive to harass this person because he doesn't know him. One, he doesn't know him. Two, there's no evidence that he's a part of any group of people who don't like who walked through his door, or anybody else like the person who walked through the hotel door. So what you do is you keep yourself a secret. You keep who you are a secret. You keep every connection you have to society a secret. And you can always tell people, I don't know, I have no motive to harass or hurt somebody's feelings like the person accused me of doing. And on the surface, it's true. But if you look beneath the surface, if you do inquiries, if you were to pry into his private life, you would discover the truth. So you can use an implant, or you can use other means to discover who people are and figure out that these people are actually doing bad things for a group, for a reason. There's a purpose behind their harassment. And it's not just because I don't like to talk to people. That's a lie. That guy downstairs probably loves to talk to people, probably loves to shoot the wind. But what he doesn't say is, I don't like to shoot the wind with people like you. you are the kind of person I don't like to shoot the wind with. And he won't say what kind of person you are, but if you were to inquire into his personal life, you'll realize it's exactly who he is and who he doesn't like. And there are several people just like the guy downstairs who would take advantage of single men or women who travel close enough for him to get away close enough to that person. It could be him. It could be anybody across town, across the city of Baton Rouge, across the city of Wisconsin, anywhere in Wisconsin, anywhere across the nation. If you are the typical person well, not the typical person, the alone in society, these people isolate you. The same person who harasses you downstairs, the type of person that harasses you downstairs are the same type of people who have worked to isolate you throughout your entire life. And it's not easy. It takes intimidation. It takes threats, intimidation, and implants. Implants, threats, intimidation, or if you don't believe implants, you can still intimidate people to not hang out with people. You can still socially harass people. You can harass people or use persuasion. Social pressure, peer pressure to get people to not hang out with somebody else. And if that doesn't work, you use intimidation. But most of the times, it has evolved. So peer pressure and intimidation stopped working because people group together. So how do you separate people who group together? You put something inside their group that separates them. So a good way to do that, a good way to separate a group of people is to put an implant in some of those people and electrocute their bodies from the inside. Now, every time they come close to you, they get an electrical sensation, or their minds start to get disoriented, or they can't think, or they can't talk, or they can't do what they want to do because they're close to you. So you use an implant. So that's how you isolate somebody. Now that person's isolated, they don't have any help. They don't have a witness. They don't have backup. They don't have friends. They don't have financial support. They don't have anybody in the world telling people this person has great intentions for society. This person wants to help people. This person has found a way to help people. And it's an incredible way to help people. If you advance weightlifting, you have just done something incredible to help lots of people. They won't die for a very long time by advancing weightlifting. So if you add more force in the same area, you add density, you add pressure to that mass that teaches your muscles and your bones to control your mass better than ever. But the best part is that density, that muscle density and the energy, the mass, the improvements to the mass inside your body to support the pressure will affect your organs, your lungs, your heart, your veins. Everything inside your body will improve to allow you to live longer, slow down the aging process, and have incredible power simultaneously. So you have more power under more pressure, and it's simple physics. You will improve your life. In fact, for a very long time. So that guy, the guy who learned that, is me. So I have great intentions for our society. So when I arrived to this hotel, I had great intentions for the guy I met. But the guy I met didn't have the same intentions for me. When I met him, he was very disrespectful. He was very hurtful. And he did it for a reason. I was not a part of the social group. If I was gay, if I was a homosexual and I walked through that door, he would have been a very pleasant person. And they just told me in my ears, he would have been a very angrier person if you were openly gay and you walked through the door. And then they told me, but that would have been a disguise to test to see if the person who walked in remained a homosexual. So if a guy walks in and he's openly gay, the guy at the desk would have been aggressive toward the gay dude. And the gay dude, as long as he remained gay, would have seen the guy change into a very, 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 very nice person. He was just testing the gay dude. That's what they just told me in my ears. In a split second, just like that. You could talk really quick with an implant. So that's what they just told me in my ears. So the guy downstairs didn't like you because you're not gay. Because I'm not gay. And he gave me attitude, and he didn't want to talk to me because he doesn't like talking to straight people. He doesn't like talking to heterosexual people who walk through the door. And he just told me, we're going to show you and everybody else he has a bunch of friends who are heterosexual, and these people are gay. The people who show up and vouch for this man, no straight people would ever greet somebody at the door with an attitude. That's the first thing. That is the very first thing about straight people. We are very nice people. We are very kind people. We don't have a motive to harass people. That's the energy inside the straight people. We're guided by energy. So we believe in freedom. Energy, mass is freedom. So a contradiction to our nature wouldn't be a part of our lives. We wouldn't contradict the nature inside of us. We have energy. And the first thing we want to do is give energy to the people around us. So we want to say hi. We want to act like there's a free person walking through the door and we should say hi to them. Those are straight people. The gay community on the other side doesn't like the idea that people believe they're not gay. So for a guy to walk through the door and look in the face of a gay man who has the ideology that everybody could be gay just like him, he harasses that person. He calls them a liar. So if you want to lie about the truth hiding beneath the surface of you, I'm going to treat you poorly. I'm going to treat you like you're not worth anything. I'm going to treat you like a bad person. I'm going to treat you like you are treating us, the gay community. You're interfering with our lives because you choose to not have sex with us. And you're lying about your desire to not have sex with us. So you're interfering with my life. So now I'm going to interfere with your life. I'm going to harass you. I'm going to do bad things to you because you are doing bad things to me by denying that you are a homosexual or you have homosexual nature inside of you like the rest of the men in the community. And you hide all of those feelings beneath harassment. And you don't tell anybody who you are or who your friends are in public so that no one can ever know that in secret you have a motive to hurt particular people. And then you distance yourself. You distance the number of times you harass people. So you make sure that a month has passed or 2 months have passed or 3 months has passed since the last time you harassed somebody who wasn't gay. So that nobody gets the idea that over the last 40 years of your life, you've been picking on straight people. And as long as you keep the harassment spaced out, nobody will discover it. As long as you never let somebody into the privacy of your home, nobody would ever know who you are. And as long as your friends show up to lie for you, who are in the gay community, to say that you're not gay and you never harassed anybody before in your life, 2 lies. With the people who don't have evidence to deny what you said, what they just said will be looking stupid. But we have a history of behavior, or we have an incidental act that's reminiscent of a purpose that's usually hidden from the public. It's a repeat of history. So this history was discovered decades ago. In one small town somewhere in America, this has happened before. Now, decades later, someone thought to do it again. As long as you keep it quiet, keep it isolated, you can repeat history, do the same things, and stop someone from speaking so that they can't tell anybody what they're thinking or what they just experienced, so that someone else could piece together what just happened. So what just happened is something someone really smart somewhere else, if they watched or heard what this person had to say, would understand immediately what happened. But if that person can't speak, if the person telling, the new person is telling, can't speak, the smart person, it's harder for the smart person to piece together what happened and remember that this happened before and it's exactly the same. So it's really easy to harass people. What I experienced when I arrived here was harassment, stalking harassment from the Baton Rouge Police Department and firefighters and paramedics. From the moment I left the airport to the moment I got here, the only cars I saw were police cars, paramedics, and firefighters. That's all I saw from the moment I left the airport. And it happened so often, I decided they disguised it. So the first thing I saw was construction trucks in the middle of the highway. There was no other cars except me and the Lyft driver. And then I saw a police car with its lights on. So I was like, all right, you got me. I didn't pull my camera out in time. Then I saw another police car. Then I was like, this is staged. Then a couple of a mile later, I saw a tow truck with a banged up car. So somebody in the community crashed their car in the middle of the road just so that I would see Baton Rouge police officers the moment I left the airport. And that is literally pretty much the only cars I can recall seeing. And then I get to the hotel I'm going to, and right the very next hotel, there's more police cars, more firefighters. So when I came to Baton Rouge, I saw a car accident, lots of police, and then I saw firefighters, paramedics, and police cars at the hotel right next to me. I don't feel really secure in the city of Baton Rouge if I'm going to see police immediately with the lights flashing when I get to town. Doesn't really make tourists, feel safe, right? If you immediately see cops when you arrive to the city you're going to visit and going to go to museums and go to your graduation for the first time, you don't really feel comfortable if all you see are police cars right with their lights flashing as soon as you get into town, right? And exactly where you're going, right? You don't really feel safe. And then you get to the place you're going to, and the hotel customer care representative has a poor attitude with greeting customers. And you're guaranteeing yourself that this person never has a poor attitude in their life. And this person has friends. And you know in your head that this person is not an antisocial person behind that counter. He wouldn't work there, right? He likes meeting people. He likes talking to people. But what he doesn't like doing is meeting someone who's not in his social group. And they tell each other that as long as we hide the truth, we can continue to do bad things to random people and never get caught. Because no one knows the truth. They'd have to invade our privacy to discover the motive of our actions. And no heterosexual person is ever going to invade the privacy of anybody's life. We have to do it by the book. So it takes a long time. But the gay community can cheat. They use implants to pry into people's lives and see what they're going, where they're going, what they're doing, what they're thinking, and stop them from thinking or telling on people. They break the rules. So it's a contradiction between the two groups of people. Gay people will cheat. Straight people won't cheat. So it takes them years to find the evidence that you have a motive to commit a crime. Those are good heterosexual people. They have gravity. They have a connection to reality, and they respect freedom. And they have strength. They don't break the rules for any reason. They don't violate anybody's rights for any reason. Those people have gravity. They witness things. And if they don't witness it, or they can't respect their freedoms, they can't make a move. But the gay community will make moves every day, every night, because they are constantly prying into people's private lives so they can constantly do things to hurt people and never get caught, because no one believes there are implants in people's bodies. And as long as no one believes that, no one's going to realize the truth that the gay community has been committing crimes with the help of implants and escaping the punishment because no one can understand how the crimes were committed without an implant. And I guess they just told me, well, then why are you telling, or how did anybody not know this before you? Something like that. I have told, and I think other people have told too, and I think heterosexual people are not acting without evidence. So I keep telling, somebody in the community who's heterosexual knows that I'm telling, and I knows that other people have told too. And without evidence, they can't act. They're not gay. They can't break the rules. Otherwise, they'd be hypocrites. If they break the rules, they'll be no better than the gay community who put implants or use implant-similar technology inside people's bodies to hurt them and get away with it. So I guess you'd have to figure out exactly how it's done, where it's done, and who is doing it. And that's a really, really tough thing to do if no one's acting publicly on the issue. If you have to wait for the evidence to pile up, it could take decades to catch bad people. Or they just told me in my ears, the country has been taking the positions of power that would do the investigation were taken over by the gay community. So people in the gay community have already taken the places in the nation, the power in the nation that would investigate the complaints of implants. They took those positions and they routinely deny the claim. So you won't get caught unless you tell the public. So I'm telling the public, I'm posting this on YouTube, and I'm going to keep telling that I'm experiencing things that nobody's supposed to experience, and it's simply because I refuse to have sex with gay people. And I'm not supposed to have these experiences.